Hey, everybody, welcome to Sandy Treasures Inc. Today, you're watching part two of another scene for the children's book that I've been doing. And it was not exactly a plan for like at the beginning of this year, I committed myself to painting more environmental awareness art because it seems to me that the issue is big and there's not enough awareness. So I went ahead and rented this little booth at the mall for a little while and I noticed how, the few people that would stop by, which it really was not a whole lot, but the few people that would stop by would look but not really see anything. So then I started explaining, because I have a painting here and it's like three people would just come in the entire week, or I mean, I wasn't working every single day, but let's say the few people that walked in would not even pay attention or acknowledge what I had done here. And granted, I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm putting it online. So I do get quite a few views, and then you could say, well, who cares about the people that walk in to our gallery or studio and don't pay attention? But, I guess it kind of like irks me a little bit. So I started asking people if they wanted me to explain to them what was the inspiration, tell them the story. And at the end of me explaining where the inspiration came from and telling them the story about where this trashy mermaid idea came from, at the end of me telling them this little story that was like 4 or 5 minutes long, I would have them in tears. They would be crying. Or they would say, oh, please stop. You're going to make me cry. Because the story is about a trashy mermaid that is living in the dying ocean. And she is now at this point, she's surrounded by trash and she makes the best of it. Like she makes her own necklaces with plastic straws and fishing line that she finds everywhere in the ocean. And, she does these things because she's got to entertain herself. So that's part of the story. What you're watching right now here is the very beginning when the mermaid families would go out and swim and have fun with the dolphins and the turtles and the other fish. And it was like the family got together and that kind of stuff is at the beginning of my story. Everything was beautiful, everything was nice. But then over a few decades, I'm talking about like 6 decades, um, a lot of countries, a lot of populations have decided and have been doing this for years. I mean, I'm talking about 6 decades. They've been throwing the trash in the ocean. So we have so much trash in the ocean and it's gotten ridiculous. Actually, there's this really cool kid that started, he is the CEO. He started this company called The Ocean Cleanup. And that's exactly what they do. They take tons of plastic out of the ocean. And I admire this kid because one day he was in a vacation and he saw more plastic than fish. And he came out, scratching his head and asking, why don't we just go ahead and clean up this mess? And now the Ocean Cleanup, if you look it up, it's an amazing entity. And so is for Ocean because they do the same thing pretty much. I think at a smaller scale, but they do an amazing job. So anyway, back to the story. Every time I would tell the story where I was about the trashy mermaid, where it came from, where the idea came from and everything, people at the end were crying and then they would tell me that I had to write a children's book or something. And I said, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I mean, after I heard it like 3 times, I started like really thinking about it. And then a friend of mine also said, you should write a children's book. So I was like, sold on the idea. Why not? This gives me a even greater reason to make these paintings. So this particular painting right here has a lot of pretty and fun things going on. It doesn't have the plastic pollution because, like I said before, this is at the very beginning of the story. This is before plastic pollution in the oceans took over. And here's another bit of information that actually inspired me to go with this environmental awareness art. If you look up like the story of the Manatee Center or any turtle rescue center, things like that, you will see that basically most of their rescues is because of pollution in the ocean. Most of the reasons that they are doing what they're doing is because we already created the devastating issues with plastic or other pollutants in the ocean. So now our critters are actually having a lot to contend with. Like somebody was telling me a story about how many obstacles the little turtle has to go through in order to make it alive. So that is amazing and fascinating. Not only does a little turtle have all these predators waiting for the little turtle, but then there's the whole plastic pollution in the ocean to contend with too. So far, I have these images ready for my book, and I still think I need a couple more images, like one at the very end of the entire story is about, well, I can't tell you. I gotta wait. Because, of course, I'm going to have to paint that one and make a video out of it. And hopefully, you guys will join me and watch the process and, just get the before the book is published behind the scenes story. So there it is, 5 paintings. By the time I complete this one painting, I'll have 5 paintings all ready for my book and a couple more paintings, a couple more videos, and I'm ready to publish. I already have the story written, and a lot of my friends love it. And most important is that I really love it and I'm enjoying the entire process. So, another thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is something that I've been doing for a few years, which is I take these commission jobs once in a while and I take a picture of, let's say, yourself, and I turn you into a mermaid and I surround you with your favorite critters. So I could paint you in a doll version, my style, and you could be hugging a manatee or riding a seahorse, or you can put the environmental awareness aspect that I do on a lot of my paintings, and you can be the one removing the 6 pack from whatever critter you're trying to save in the painting. So I hope you guys like that part, and I hope I get some commissions soon because I'm almost done with this children's project. I would say 2 more weeks and I should be done with all the images for my children's project and I am ready for commission jobs. And by the way, you can send me an email at sandytreasures.inc@gmail.com, and you can look at my website, which is sandytreasuresinc.com. It's not fully functional yet. Today is the middle of June 2025. So for now, my website is like a portfolio, but it will be up and running pretty soon. I've been working on it. I've been learning a lot of things when it comes to putting together my website, and I should be able to take orders pretty soon through my website. But if you want something that is on the website, you can always contact me by Gmail, or you can even call me because I put my phone number on my Google. So if you look at Sandy Treasures Inc. on Google, I have my phone number, my address, everything. It's a little scary, but I have it all there. And last thing I want to mention is that I do put on the description some of the items that I am fond of, and I do make a little bit of a commission if you guys do order, and that would help me support this channel, support my endeavor. And here I am just doing some final additions to this painting. It did take me 2 videos to do this project for you guys. I don't like putting on videos that are like 20 minutes of watching me paint and ramble. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it like this in about 9-10 minutes. I try to keep the videos at that time frame. So thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, I am quick to respond. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.